It started as a quiet night at a local bar, just another stop for a black soldier looking to unwind after a long week. But things took a dark turn when a group of rowdy bikers decided to stir up trouble. With their jeers and thinly veiled insults, it was clear they were targeting him for the color of his skin. The room grew tense as their taunts became louder, and all eyes turned to the soldier, waiting to see how he'd respond. Would he lash out, walk away, or stand his ground in a way no one could predict? What happened next left everyone speechless. The soldier's reaction wasn't what the bikers expected, and it changed the entire atmosphere in the room. In a twist that no one saw coming, he delivered a response so powerful it silenced even the loudest voices. You won't believe how this story unfolds. The soldier locked eyes with the bikers, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply with their aggressive posturing. It was clear he had seen worse. His steady gaze carried the weight of someone who had faced real battles, far more serious than a barroom showdown. The room seemed to hold its breath as one of the bikers, a burly man with a leather jacket and an intimidating presence, took a step closer, trying to provoke a reaction. But the soldier didn't flinch. Instead, he simply asked, "Is there something you need to say to me?" His voice was steady, unshaken, but the tension in the air was thick. The bartender looked uneasy, ready to intervene, while other patrons stayed glued to their seats, not daring to interrupt. The bikers, caught off guard by the soldier's composure, exchanged glances, unsure of their next move. Whatever the soldier had planned, no one was prepared for it. The room remained tense, with every pair of eyes darting between the soldier and the group of bikers. One of them, a younger man trying to act tough, muttered something under his breath, a slur meant to push the soldier over the edge. The leader, sensing an opportunity to assert control, smirked and leaned in closer. "You think you're tough, don't you? Bet you're not so fearless without your uniform." The soldier tilted his head slightly, studying the group as if he could see straight through their bravado. He didn't rise to their insults, didn't give them the outburst they were clearly looking for. Instead, he took a deep breath and calmly replied, "Respect isn't given, it's earned. So, what exactly have you done to earn mine?" His words hung in the air like a challenge. The bikers faltered, their confident facade cracking ever so slightly. The tension thickened as the soldier's next move loomed, unpredictable and deliberate. The bikers bristled at the soldier's calm response. The leader stepped closer, his grin fading into something colder. "Big talk for someone outnumbered," he sneered, his tone dripping with intimidation. The rest of the group chuckled, their laughter hollow, as if trying to mask their own unease. The tension in the bar was suffocating now, the kind of pressure that made time seem to crawl. But the soldier didn't back down. Instead, he turned slightly, scanning the room. He wasn't looking for an escape or help. He was assessing, calculating. The bartender shifted uncomfortably behind the counter, as if deciding whether to intervene, while the other patrons remained frozen, caught between fear and curiosity. Then, with deliberate calm, the soldier leaned forward and said, "You think strength is about numbers. Let me show you what real strength looks like." His tone was steady, but there was an unmistakable intensity in his eyes. The bikers paused, unsure whether to laugh or prepare for the unexpected. All around, the tension reached its peak, leaving everyone hanging on the edge of what would come next. The leader of the bikers narrowed his eyes, sensing that the soldier wasn't bluffing. "Oh yeah, and what exactly do you think you're gonna do?" he taunted, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his voice. The soldier didn't answer right away. Instead, he straightened his posture, his presence commanding the room without needing to raise his voice. Before he could speak, the door to the bar swung open. Everyone turned to see another man step inside, a fellow soldier, still in uniform. He paused briefly, assessing the situation, before walking directly to the soldier's side. The bikers exchanged uneasy glances. The tension had suddenly shifted. "What's going on here?" the newcomer asked calmly, though his sharp tone carried an air of authority. The soldier smiled faintly, but didn't take his eyes off the bikers. "Just a misunderstanding," he said, but the weight of the moment hinted that something bigger was brewing. The leader of the bikers took a step back, his bravado starting to waver. He looked at the soldier and his friend, weighing his options. The room was silent, the tension so thick you could feel it pressing down. Finally, the soldier spoke, his voice calm but firm. "You think respect is earned through intimidation. Let me show you what respect looks like." He gestured to the bartender, who reluctantly handed him a small stack of receipts. The soldier scanned them quickly, then turned to the leader. "You and your friends have been sitting here all night, running up a tab you clearly don't plan to pay. Am I right?" The biker leader froze, his cocky smirk disappearing. The soldier continued, "See, real strength isn't about fear. It's about integrity. And right now, you've got a choice to make. Pay what you owe and walk out, or we can call the cops and let them sort this out." The room collectively held its breath. The bikers, clearly caught off guard, fumbled for their wallets and threw a wad of cash on the bar. They shuffled out quickly, their once mighty arrogance shattered. As the door closed behind them, the bartender let out a relieved laugh. "That was impressive," he said, shaking his head. The soldier turned back to his friend, who smirked knowingly. "You never do what people expect," the friend said. The soldier shrugged. "Sometimes the strongest move is just keeping your cool." But as they left the bar, the soldier glanced back one last time, a flicker of unease crossing his face. It was subtle, but enough to suggest that while this battle was over, the war might not be. As the soldier and his friend stepped out into the cool night air, the hum of the bar faded behind them. The streets were quiet, offering a stark contrast to the tense encounter they had just navigated. The soldier's friend glanced over. "You handled that well. Most people would let their temper get the best of them."